Our parents are all animators.
We're famous. Oh, wait. Yes, baby!
Hey.
What if they're all like, we don't need your help. Get out of here.
Banished.
You apostate, shunned. We'd rather die than get your help. Oh, wow.
But thanks, though, seriously.
What a way to open.
Yeah.
Oh, it kicks up the water. Yes, baby.
Gorge. Then they're all like, boo!
Boo. Do you see what I see? Said the Grogu. Wait, hold up.
Oh!
That is a Purgle, Tommy! Tommy, that's a hyperspace whale!
Live action, baby.
Ezra Bridger?
It's gotta be.
Thrawn?
Thrawn.
Well, we know Thrawn is out there, but just seeing the Purgle means that where the Purgle go, we're gonna see where Ezra Bridger went. He is gonna show up.
What an episode.
Oh, I love the way this season is beginning. They're giving us everything we could ever dream
Mando's
of.
sleeping through the whole thing.
Grogu will never tell him.
Yeah.
Grogu never needs to tell him.
No.
Keep it a secret. It's just our little secret, Grogu. Welcome back to New Rockstars. The Mandalorian Season 3 premiere is here. Purgles have been spotted in hyperspace. Bo-Katan is working an ass groove into the stone throne on her home planet, home moon, we should say, Kalevala.
I saw Ass Groove at Warp Tour. They were amazing. They were incredible.
Oh, okay, good. I hope you got the shirt.
I did.
Yeah, they were great. They were great. Also, our baby Grogu is spinning in chairs. I'm about to spin right out of this chair.
Whoa, hey, that's enough, son.
Is it? Oh,
that's enough. Wow, full rotation.
Full 360 degrees.
Dank
Ferrick! It's good to be back! We are here in the New Rockstars break room set. This is New Rockstars The Break Room presents Wookieeleaks, a Mandalorian after show. It's been so long, Tommy.
Erik, I have been holding my breath the entire time, waiting for us to come back and talk about Mandalorian. You know, we've had some bumps, we've had some bruises, but I think we've come out of hyperspace a little bit wiser.
I like to think so too. You know, we were doing Wookieeleaks during Andor. Not a ton of people were watching Andor, so we took a little break from Wookieeleaks. But you know what? We're back. We cannot say no to doing these after shows for The Mandalorian Season 3. I'm Erik Voss. I'm here with Tommy Bechtold.
Great to be here, all my Wookiee freaks out there. Daddy's home, and the other daddy's home. And we've brought some friends.
We came back with those cigarettes from the corner store we said we were getting. We follow through on our promises. Now, as always, my Easter egg breakdown of this episode of The Mandalorian is coming out tomorrow on the New Rockstars channel. And if you're interested, you can watch my raw, rambling, ridiculous live stream that I did on the Deep Dive channel as I was in the process of writing my breakdown. So if it's a little unrefined, that will be why. But right now, right here, Tommy and I are going to discuss this Season 3 premiere of The Mandalorian. We're going to answer the big questions coming out of this episode, and there were quite a few, Tommy.
Absolutely. But before we can get into it, we got to talk about these sweet, sweet shirts we're wearing. This is all part of the Nerd Riot Shop The Way collection.
The Way!
Erik is wearing the Bounty Hunter. I am wearing the Foundling. When you go to Nerd Riot Shop and buy one of these, you have the option to purchase a custom shout-out that will be playing along the bottom of our Wookieeleaks episodes and maybe said aloud by Erik or myself. And like I said, these ain't just shout out to my nephew, shout out to my brother, shout out to my sister. You want to file for divorce via one of those shout outs? We'll do it. We don't care. We have no moral qualms.
If you want to shout out your 3 possible dads and try to invite all 3 of them to your wedding,
that's right.
Figure out which one is the real dad, you can do that via shout out if you like.
We would love to do that. I mean, it might get a little costly, but honestly, can you put a price on family? I know I can. That's why I moved away. Let's recap the episode.
Yeah, okay, so the episode begins with this like armorer montage.
Little ceremony,
right?
yeah, we get the sounds of the hard working through the iconic Faces of Star Wars opening that usually is the like
I love that, by the way.
Instead
Those the blue and red lights,
Mm-hmm.
like to me, that is better than the Marvel Studios title
Yeah,
card.
yeah.
I have to say it. I know that's sacrilege to the Disney heads out there.
know.
I just think it's cooler. I think it looks cooler.
A mark out for it. Yeah, so we see the armorer hard at work
making a bike helmet
Yeah.
for a kid. This kid who's going through this baptism.
Yeah.
I love some good culty Game of Thrones shit, and that's how we
Yes.
start. This show is getting back to its roots as The Mandalorian, and like yes, it is about Grogu and Mando, but at its heart, it is a show about a cult cult who do not realize that they are part of a cult.
That's
And
absolutely
what we're
right. I love a beachside ceremony. I'm a sucker for it. But most of my beachside ceremonies end in disaster, and this one was no different.
That's right. Yeah, we were trying to figure out what exactly this big beast is. It may actually be a Star Wars thing. It's just slipping our minds right now, but it looks like a giant crocodile. With
I think it kind of looks
like
like an alligator snapping turtle, which is a real creature that haunts my nightmares. Google alligator snapping turtle. Imagine another set of legs on it, and tell me that's not what that thing looks like.
Yeah. So they're about to die. Some people are getting eaten. Some people are getting swatted around. Kids are still in the mix.
That's right.
And then who swoops in?
Mando baby and Grogu. Pew, 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 pew. By the way, I want to, first of all, a little credit to the other Mandalorians. Some pretty ingenious ways of taking that thing down. They put the little detonator
They
bombs
slap
on
the
it.
detonators on there.
But
they try to rope it down.
They tried to spear it, but in the end, only a Naboo Star Cruiser could take it down.
Now, do you think, so the kid is Wesley Kimmel, who is Jimmy Kimmel's nephew, and a son of
Jonathan Kimmel, who works on the Jimmy Kimmel Show as well.
Right, and if that kid looks familiar, he's the kid from the Westview commercials in WandaVision. I believe it's episode 5. It's the one wherever there's the Lagos paper towels. That's Wesley Kimmel as well. Wow. So this kid, do you think he's Paz Vizsla's son?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Because Paz was like real proud. He was a real proud Holy Communion Papa in the front.
He also immediately was like, "Oh, the kids, get out of here!"
Yeah, he like pushed some kids out of the way. Now maybe he didn't want those kids to claim the glory. And he's like, "Dad can handle it." So Mando saves them. No one thanks him.
No.
But then he goes and he chats with the armor.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, we good?" And she's like, "Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
We're not
We had
good.
this conversation.
What did I say?
Yeah.
You need to go to the
Living Waters,
the Marriott Residence Inn on Mandalore, and go sit in the hot tub for a little bit." And they're like, "Well, we all are pretty sure that there's the fusion crystals are all over it, right?"
Yeah, and those are living waters. There's a lot of living things in those waters, a lot of bacteria and things that we don't want to speak of.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. He presented this scrap of like green, it looked like glass that was irradiated by lightning or whatever, these fusion bombs that were dropped over Sundari. But preserved was some Mandoa text. And to him, he's like, well, if they were able to recover it, it can't be that radioactive on the surface.
Yeah, they said, what, like a scavenger was able to survive it.
Right, if they can survive, it can't be that bad. So they use that as evidence of, okay, maybe it's worth going back to it. Grogu is fascinating to watch in this scene. He looks up at that Mythosar head on the wall. It's fun to watch this episode through the eyes of Mando, or through the eyes of Grogu, specifically the next scene, going through hyperspace.
Mando passed out.
Yeah.
Grogu looking out, and it's like, I was like, what is he gonna call out to? I was like, is he gonna like call out to like some force sensitive being? Turns out he called out to something pretty freaking incredible.
Yes.
The Purgle hyperspace whales, baby.
The Purgles. Now, do you think he called out to them?
I don't know if he called out to him, but he did see him.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to talk more about the Purgles in a second. They're very, very, very important, obviously. Okay, so they go to Navarro, and Navarro looks great.
What a glow up. It's like Detroit in 2015, if you've been to Detroit anytime prior to that. There's brand new bars and restaurants open. Some of the bars have even become schools. Now, if you could combine the two, I'm in business and I'm moving there. Also, Grief Karga is now, the Grand Magistrate?
He's got 2 little droids who just carry his cape for him.
That's what I think I'm out of ways for Star Wars, to make droids that are hilarious. You know, they have the garbage can droids, which I love. Now they have cloak carrying droids, which you assume are functional for weddings, right?
Yeah.
But Grief Karga's like, no, I got 2 of those.
The Kowakian monkey lizards are now in a tree. They're
thriving.
repopulating.
Yeah.
They used to be on the spits.
We've got a multi-species or multi-race band with some Twi'leks.
We saw Mon Calamari walking around.
Mon Calamari.
Yeah, very exciting. And then, so Grief Karga, Grand Magistrate now, offers Mando some parcels. He's like, you want to be part of the landed gentry now.
I mean, he can't stop offering him jobs.
Yeah.
He's like, would you like to be a landowner? I can give you a nice spot over by the hot springs.
Yeah.
Come on, those living waters, huh? You got some babes and bros hot springing, and then Mando's like, no, I can't. He's like, settle down with your. I love he's just like, take your son and settle down, not like, hey, Go out, find a life partner. He's like, just take your kid and train.
And we get this great moment. Carl Weathers like, you and your little one. He's like, Grogu. He's like, what did you just say to me? Is that something's name? He's like, yes, Grogu. His name is Grogu. And he's like, if you say so.
Yeah.
Like, just like most of the viewing audience, we will not call him Grogu. We will call him Grogu here at Rockstars, but most of you out there still call him Baby Yoda.
I still whisper Baby Yoda every time. I'm like, Grogu, Baby Yoda. But also, we get a great scene where Grogu is whipping himself around using the Force, and then he pulls a little candy out of the dish using the Force. Using the Force the way a normal person would.
Exactly.
Enough of this Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, goody-goody bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
And why stop at one piece of candy? Just grab the whole freaking bowl.
You know what I would do if I had the Force? I'd be laying on the couch, and I always lose the remote. I would just be sticking my hand out, summoning a remote from somewhere in the room, and my life would be so much easier.
Yeah, it truly would. Well, pirates. We see some pirates led by Vane, this guy who wants a drink at the school.
Yeah.
I believe that is the same Navarro school where Grogu stole some cookies, right? Yes. Led by that protocol droid. I think that's the same school, same classroom, or maybe just some other school. Used to be a bar. Grogu's still using it as a bar if he's eating cookies there.
That's right.
But anyway, they get into this awesome gunslinger shootout with the pirates.
And we go back to the great Western stingers they have in the score where it's like, woo!
The Inicio Morricone. We see IG-11 has been immortalized in statue form, and Grogu's like, or Mando's like, can I have that?
The statue is still the droid, which is amazing.
It's a piece of the droid.
We made the statue out of the droid. Genius. We didn't have to hire a statue guy.
And so he needs a droid. But in this scene, a little interesting moment from Grief Karga. They ask, why can't Cara Dune be your marshal?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, well, Cara Dune...
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter.
Yeah.
And say no more.
Yeah.
But Cara Dune, we found out, took Moff Gideon over to a New Republic war tribunal.
Yes, a New Republic war tribunal. Also, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Dave Filoni, I think, gave an interview this week where they were like, well, how are you going to address the Cara Dune thing? He's like, there are billions of people in this galaxy. Yeah. She can be off doing something while someone else is in front of the camera. So.
I was surprised they brought up her name at all.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I mean, I think she was important enough to the future plans of the show that they have to say something. She was so involved in those first two seasons.
Yeah.
So.
But we do have some follow-ups on what's exactly going to go down with this judicial system at the New Republic, because there's a lot of questions there.
Yeah.
Things go down with the pirates. They try to reassemble IG-11 with the Anzellans, the race of Babu Frick, and they steal the show, as this race always does. They're a delight.
Yeah.
We get this great Gandalf in the Hobbit house.
Well, first they assemble him, but Mando tries to do it himself, and that does not go well.
How could I forget this?
Well, it's just the order. Mando tries to bring him back. He does bring him back, and then IG-11 rewards him by immediately trying to kill him and Grogu. And he's like Terminator crawling around with no when the Terminator's cut in half and is just crawling around with no legs.
Yeah.
Still because of the upper body strength.
And it's fixated on Grogu. How terrifying is it when Din does like a lateral pass to Grief Karga? Grief Karga's like, okay, great. He just wants Mando. No, he wants the baby.
Nope.
They use the bust.
Yeah, the protocol droid tips the bust over, right?
Which, what a great move there. I think it was that an RA7 protocol droid. I'm not sure exactly what form that was, but for the win. For the win. They are
maybe the MVP of this episode.
I think so. How bad could things have gotten?
And then
we get the Anzellans, and they steal the show from there.
Boy, oh boy.
My favorite scene of the episode.
I mean, you get Mando sitting crisscross applesauce in that little hut. Well, Grief is like trying to translate a very easily already translatable language.
This was an incredible moment of comedy. I love this. They find out that he's not fixable. He's too broken, so they got to find a new chip.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, maybe not for whatever reason, but Din Djarin really, really wants an IG-style assassin droid to accompany him to Mandalore.
Yeah, to me it seems like, for him, obviously, it's important for him to go back to his roots to purify himself. And I think IG-11 represents his past as well. In the past, in season 1, IG-11 saved everybody by sacrificing himself and taking out all those stormtroopers. I think we're learning more about Din Djarin's personality, that he is someone who relies on past experiences to inform his future decisions.
That's a good way of looking at it, I think. I just love the idea that we could go to any statue anywhere, like to the Lincoln Memorial. Actually, can I use that giant Abraham Lincoln to help me on something?
I'm going straight down to Burbank and firing up that Batman statue out in front of the AMC 16.
You know he can be used. He's like Excalibur. The right person comes along, rubs his tummy, and then he comes alive.
Oh, his tummy. I've been rubbing the wrong area. Anyway,
Tommy.
moving along.
Tommy.
His calves, guys. He's got jacked calves. So where are we headed? We're headed to see an old friend, or an old frenemy, I guess, because she literally has to... Oh, wait, no.
Well, he is on the way to see Bo-Katan.
Yes, and interrupted.
But he goes through this asteroid belt that Grief had talked about earlier, and then the pirates are back. Vane is like, you think you can just shoot for my buds and walk away? But there's this little moment that I think is interesting where Din is talking to Grogu and teases this little thing of like, you need to learn how to navigate. To be a true Mandalorian, you have to know how to wander.
So you'll never be lost.
Yeah. So the pirates show up. We get some great space battles, some nice sound effects.
And a kind of a rare in-space fight sequence in the ships. You know, we get a lot of on-the-ground combat in Mandalorian. They're cruising through an asteroid belt. I love that stuff.
It was great. I mean, this episode was really firing on all cylinders. It gave everything every Star Wars
This
fan
episode
loved.
felt like it was budgeted almost to like a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, and you know what? Just like a half hour. It felt like a full film that we were watching. But we had space battles. We had creepy, culty lore.
Yes.
We had some politics.
We had giant creatures,
giant monsters, and then sword lore. Right? That's everything you could ever want out of Star Wars.
Sword lore. I saw sword lore at Warped Tour too. They were great. They opened up for Ass Party or whatever that first one was.
Okay, so we meet one of the pirates, Gorian Shard.
Oh my God,
Gorian Shard. What a Glorian Shard he is with that leafy beard.
Straight out of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right? Yeah, kind of, or like an Ent, you might say. He had a beautiful beard. I love this guy. The Pirate King. Mando uses his boosters to get the...
I love how easy that he's like, never trust pirates. Boo! I have a feeling, though, we will be seeing Mr. Shard soon. I don't think he's going to be gone for long.
No, for sure. Absolutely.
He just looks too cool. They got to bring him back.
Yeah. Then on to Calavera, which is the home planet, or the home moon of Mandalore, home to House Kryze.
Yes.
And this is the first time we actually see it. It was referenced in a couple episodes of Clone Wars as being where the House Kryze comes from, but this is the first time I think we actually see it, at least in live action, and it looks impressive. It's great.
Really cool. The throne room is very Game of Thronesy vibe, the way it's so steep. You gotta walk a long distance to get to that throne.
Dragonstone, And we see the banners of House Kryze, but it's empty. It's empty because Bo-Katan says, well, when I didn't come back with the sword, my army left. They're all running gigs around the galaxy.
She kind of also, she was in the Jonathan Majors Kang sit, the way he sat in Kang.
Sit loose.
Just kind of like very loosey-goosey, leg draped over the side. There it is, right there. There it is.
I'm going to fall out of this chair.
Don't fall. I got you. Fall into my arms. Fall into my arms. Let us go to hyperspace.
Draw me like one of your French girls.
So, yeah, that's what she's doing, which if you sit in a chair for too long, eventually you're going to get creative with.
She's like, I ain't helping you. My life is absolute dog ass. I don't want to hang out with you. All my friends are gone. You should just go do your own thing. If you think you can go down there and breathe, then do it.
Yeah, she warns that the surface is toxic.
Actually, she suggests he should go rule. She's like, go take the Darksaber and go rule those people. They don't like me anymore.
She says, wave it around.
Yeah.
Like, she knows how stupidly superficial the importance of the sword is. Yeah. And I like that. I like her bitterness, how stung she is, how pissed off she is. It was hers. It should have belonged to her. But you know what? You didn't win it in combat, Bo.
You didn't adopt a little Yoda and have him help you take it from Gustavo Fring.
That's right.
It's late. Sorry, guys. Let's get it going.
Let's get it going. Right. Our big question. The Purgle hyperspace whales.
What the frick? Are the Purgle hyperspace whales setting up the return of Ezra Bridger?
I think they gotta be. Anytime we reference or see the Purgle whales, it is in reference to that moment in Star Wars Rebels where Ezra Bridger and Thrawn disappear. Now, just the mention of Thrawn in season 2 of The Mandalorian, we're already thinking, well, if Thrawn is still alive, Ezra is still alive. He's out there somewhere. So seeing these Purgles are their own things, but these are these space whales that blast through hyperspace. The last time we saw Ezra Bridger in season 4 of Rebels, when he basically sacrificed himself to save the rest of the Ghost crew by blasting himself and Thrawn entangled up in these Purgle hyperspace whales, and they blasted off to some unknown region. And then in the tag of Rebels, we blasted off to the other side of the end of the Galactic Civil War. Ahsoka reunites with Sabine, and they're going off to find Ezra Bridger. So we have to assume that Ahsoka either knows where Ezra is or is currently looking for him somewhere out there. Maybe by looking for Thrawn, she is looking for Ezra.
I think, that was what I took away from
Yeah.
it. Like, finding Thrawn means finding Ezra.
Right. And so seeing these Purgles right now tell us that that's where things are happening.
Yeah, I think that's where the overall the television universe of these Star Wars shows is leading up to Thrawn and Ezra, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it feels like it's a crash course on that. We got to deal with some, stolen or lost valor in the Mandalorian. The Din Djarin's got to be able to put his helmet on and hug the armorer again, earn her respect back.
Yeah.
She is mother, after all, as the kids would say.
It's interesting. So much of this episode is concerned with what it means to be an apostate and what it means to be excommunicated from the Watch, the Children of the Watch, this cult. And that's what I love about it. We have these recurring motifs of baptism, of being enveloped by water from the opening scene, the opening baptism of one of the new initiates, one of the new foundlings, to the fact that Grief is like, why don't you sit next to our hot spring? It's like, no, that's not the water I'm looking for.
No.
And then when he goes to Calavera, he is wet. He's soaking wet because he's going through the rain. So he comes into that place like he's being teased by water. And then, so this idea of going through hyperspace, it looks like we're going through an underwater tunnel, the color blue, and looking over and seeing whales like it's on the other side of an aquarium.
Yeah. That's never not going to be trippy.
Right. It just looks, the visuals are incredible. It's one of my favorite hyperspace scenes, I think, in all of Star Wars. But this is the one thing that ties us into the rest of the Star Wars canonical lore. Everything else is really, really grounded in the rites and rituals of the Mandalorian clan. And that's what I really love about this. That's what I think the most underappreciated thing about this series, The Mandalorian, is, when you're in Star Wars and when you have Dave Filoni in the director's chair for some of these and writing a lot of these episodes, it's always gonna branch out to other things, from Rebels, from Clone Wars, from the original trilogy, and to Luke Skywalker. But I think what makes it really cool is just the moments where we just get to know these helmeted weirdos.
Yes.
And their sword logic.
Absolutely. The rituals and the strange rules and why combat is so important. It's all fascinating. And you're right, it does ground it, especially when seconds later a giant alligator snapping turtle can invade. Yeah. And then you're like, all right, well, I get why these people care about each other, so it does make me I'm still invested in it.
Yeah. Now, earlier you said that that Grogu might have summoned these Purgle.
Yeah, I don't know. Just in the way he was looking out, it looked like he was looking intentionally out there. Like he sensed them.
Yeah, he has this kind of ability to connect with fauna. Yeah. And we saw this with the Rancor in the Boba Fett finale. This is something Grogu can do. And I think there might have been a similar connection that he has with these Purgles in this moment. Yeah. And that's kind of beautiful. It's like Grogu's going to be the answer that Ahsoka needs to find Ezra.
Unlike George Lucas's doomed quote, Jar Jar is the key to all of this. Yeah. I do believe Grogu may be the key to all of this.
All right, we have a lot more questions that we want to address from this episode of The Mandalorian, Season 3, Episode 1. But we want to thank our sponsor who helped us make this episode to make it even possible, Quip!
Yeah!
Quip for sponsoring today's episode of The Break Room Presents Wookieeleaks, a Mandalorian After Show. So
I got the water pick here, Erik.
Oh, you got the water pick?
Yes.
Okay, so good health starts with good habits. Quip makes it easy by delivering all the oral care essentials you need to care for your mouth. Their electric toothbrush has timed sonic vibrations that keep going as long as dentists recommend. You brush so you don't even have to worry about if you're doing enough.
Yeah, you don't have to sing the song in your head. Right. You can just let that thing sonic its way through your mouth.
So what Tommy has here is the water pick.
Yes. You know what? Stop littering the environment with your plastic flosses and your ooh, look at that. And your picks. Use a water pick. Be better for the environment. Be better for the galaxy. You never know who's out there. There could be Purgle hyperspace whales right above us now.
If you go to getquip.com/breakroom right now, you'll get your 20% off any Quip water flosser, Quip toothbrush, or Quip's gum starter kit. That's 20% off any water flosser, toothbrush, or gum starter kit at getquip.com/breakroom. That's spelled GETQUIP.com/breakroom. Quip. The Good Habits Company.
Oh, baby, so nice. I'll say it twice. GetQuip.com/breakroom. Stop having a messy mouth. Anyway.
All right.
What's our next question, Erik?
What the frick are Bo-Katan and Din Djarin going to end this season in a duel over the Darksaber?
I feel like they have to. I feel like, first of all, we said this off air, but I'm going to say this on air now, so it's on record. All we know from Bo-Katan is just what she's saying. We don't know if any of it's true.
Yeah.
She says everybody's left her behind. She's now there kind of living in this nihilistic, nothing matters mood. She might just be trying to make herself seem weak to Din so that when the time is right, she can duel him for the Darksaber and he'll be caught unawares because he is always hyper aware. He's never lost. He's always knows his coordinates. He's very good at knowing exactly what's going on around him at all times. So she might be trying to, much like, she might be trying to mess up his coordinates. She might be trying to get him off base. So I don't know. I think they're bound to fight, and I think that she might not be telling the entire truth about what's going on with him.
Yeah. We had some friends, some inside sources who were at the premiere event in Hollywood, and reportedly Pedro Pascal said on stage, just wait till you see, pointing to Katie Sackhoff, wait till you see what she does to me. And then Favreau and Filoni were like, da. So I think, she's going to mess him up. There's going to be an interesting conflict.
I think she's going to betray him somehow. I don't know if she'll get the Darksaber, but she's going to betray him, and it may cost her everything.
Let's talk about this Moff Gideon New Republic War Tribunal.
Hell yeah, dude. Death panels, finally. No, I'm just kidding. I don't support death panels. But we have long speculated that we were going to get into some like New Republic politics through the Moff Gideon arrest, right? Like it was like, we might see how the judicial system in this New Republic post-Empire, pre-First Order era works. And now we're finally going to get that. And are we going to see some familiar faces that are still alive? I don't know. It's tough to tell. I always get confused. Who's still out there? Who's still working?
Well, we know that Leia Organa is still playing an important role in the New Republic. She is leading kind of the military faction. After the end of the Galactic Civil War, Leia Organa had a reputation of obviously a war hero, a very highly respected former rebel figure. But for a while, it was a secret that Darth Vader was Anakin Skywalker, her father. That was later released by her political foes, and it kind of doomed her political career. So she ended up taking her loyalists and her supporters to kind of rally and form what later became the resistance. The military faction who didn't trust that everything was hunky dory. However, she's still around. I don't know if she would be on the tribunal. It's just a little confusing when this is, because Jon Favreau just did an interview earlier this week saying this actually might take place like 4 years after the pilot of The Mandalorian.
Right.
We don't really know exactly how much time has passed. And that really would depend on like whether Kylo Ren has been born yet at this point. We don't know how far into the sequel era we are. But I have to think maybe Admiral Akbar is on that.
Admiral Akbar would be a good one to recreate, or to bring back. It's unfortunate because there's a man out there with the gift of gab, with a political future, but the casting of it would be very confusing, and that's Lando Calrissian. How do you bring Lando back? You can't bring Han or Lando back because they've both been played by younger actors in movies that took place prior to this event, way prior. So you can't bring back Alden Ehrenreich, or Donald Glover to play those characters.
No.
You'd have to do face map city, and I don't think anybody wants that. No. But wouldn't it be amazing if Lando Calrissian was prosecuting Moff Gideon? Come on, it would be amazing. Let's just animate that episode.
Well, Christopher Lloyd is rumored to play a character in this season. I wonder if he could be some judge on this panel.
I'm in. I like it.
I mean, Christopher Lloyd can just do so much more. He's such a goofball and a potentially over the top character player.
That was a terrible impression. Let's not do that. But Marty! That's it. There it is. All right.
You got there.
All right.
Okay, these pirates, Scory and Shard, Vane. You said you think you're coming back.
They got to come back. They got to come back. First of all, I don't know if the 4 pirates that dropped in Navarro, right? Mm-hmm. Those were all practical costumes, were they not? I think so. They looked practical. Maybe if they were digitally animated, they were animated to look practical, which is kind of incredible.
They did look great. I mean, and just the way they were playing it, super scummy and awful. And I hope these guys come back. Just
I want all these
ways.
pirates to come back. I like these space pirates, even the dead ones. I want their ghosts to come back. I like them.
And let's get a Hondo Ananka cameo in here, right? He shouldn't just be on Smuggler's Run. I want to see him show up.
That's right. And then fans have been dying.
Yeah.
Dying for
You
Hondo.
already have the live-action Hondo Ananka animatronic over on Smuggler's Run. Just get that same suit, put it on an actor, and Cad Bane this shit. Let's get other pirates in here.
Cad Bane this shit, indeed.
Okay. We're going to leave it there for this episode.
Right.
There's so much more we could say, but I got the deep dive stuff that I'm doing.
We need to put you back in your cell so you can finish our content for us. Yep. And I need to go find a group of pirates to join.
We get the breakdown, the Easter egg breakdown coming out on the channel tomorrow. Just another reminder. Unfortunately, maybe next week we might be able to get the breakdown out on Wednesday. That'd be exciting.
Yes.
But we didn't get these until right up around when you got it. So we appreciate your patience. And again, subscribe to our new channel, The Deep Dive. We got some fun stuff coming your way.
You got to do it, baby. You got to dive deep.
Yeah. And we will be diving deep. Speaking of Christopher Lloyd, Tuesday, March 7th will be our deep dive into Back to the Future. It's gonna be such a great video. You're gonna love it. And you can support our growing network by grabbing some merch at nerdriot.shop, like the Way collection that we are wearing. These shirts feel and they look great. You got some Orabesh you get to translate and look like a true Star Wars nerd to your friends. This has been
some cool Orabesh hats too on
That's
the
right.
site.
Yeah,
Yes.
go check everything on that collection. It's all great, and we'd love to. If you ever see us out in the public wearing it, and you're wearing it, we'll give you a high five.
That's right.
Give you a high
I might
five.
even give you a hug if you consent. And if not, a throat chop. Thanks for watching Wookieeleaks, everybody.
Thanks for watching. This has been Tommy Bechtold. You can follow him at Tommy Bechtold. You can follow me at EA Voss. You can follow New Rockstars at New Rockstars. And make sure to subscribe to this channel.
That's right.
We'll see you next week.
Should we give him a We Have Spoken for old time's sake?
Sure.
Sure. We have spoken.